is up, guys? Happy Friday. I'm Pete Mundo, HeartlandCollegeSports.com, covering the entire Big 12 Conference. It is great to be here with you. So I've got concerns for the Big 12 Conference, the future of the Big 12 Conference, based off a move that took place this week. You may have seen Garrett Riley, TCU's offensive coordinator, is leaving TCU for the job at Clemson. I don't blame him. I don't blame Garrett Riley one bit. He helped lead this offense under Sonny Dykes to a national championship game. It's a damn impressive feat. Nobody saw this coming for TCU. He should be very proud of what this team and what this offense accomplished. Max Duggan looked like a different guy this year compared to his prior 17 seasons on campus. I say that tongue-in-cheek, whatever it's been, 4 seasons on campus for Max Duggan. Not quite Stetson Bennett at 25 years old, but not a spring chicken. The money, we don't know exactly what he was making at TCU because the private institutions, it's harder to get that information. But, it was at least several $100,000. He's probably doubling that at Clemson, maybe more, with the Clemson Tigers. This has nothing to do with Garrett Riley. I've got complete confidence in Sonny Dykes. He's going to get himself a good offensive coordinator. He's an offensive mind. Everything's going to be fine. But I think about this from the future of the Big 12 perspective. I think it's pretty clear that the Big 12 is going to be the number 3 conference behind the SEC and the Big 10. That's how I perceive this to go for the Big 12. But what I have concerns about is how well the Big 12 is going to be able to keep staff members from bolting for the SEC or the Big 10 if and when they have really productive seasons. Like Jim Knowles last year. You think Mike Gundy wouldn't like to keep Jim Knowles at Oklahoma State last year? He lost him to Ohio State where they paid him a fortune. That seems to be happening more and more with Big 12 coordinators, not so much head coaches. I mean, you got a great head coaching gig in the Big 12. You're going to make $5-6 million a year. Maybe you can make $8 million if you go to a Big 10 or SEC school, but let's just put it this way. I don't know for sure. I know that's going to surprise some of you. I don't know for sure, but I can't imagine there's a massive lifestyle shift going from making $6 million a year to $8 million a year. Call me crazy, but something tells me that's it's probably not a big lifestyle shift. But you got assistant coaches making a few $100,000, and they can double or triple that money in the Big 10 or SEC. They're going to do it. And as the new TV contracts start, the gap between what the SEC and the Big 10 has and what the Big 12 has is going to be substantial. Now you're saying, Pete, Garrett Riley's going to Clemson. That's not Big 10 or SEC. I know it's not technically, but those schools operate like Big 10 SEC schools. Clemson does. I know they're a fish out of water in the ACC. They're not a basketball school. But they operate like an SEC school does when it comes to football. They pay big money. That's why Brent Venables never left. Brent Venables was making a fortune, right? He was making a fortune as the Clemson defensive coordinator. I think he was like $2.5 million. I don't know, something really high for a coordinator. I think he was the highest paid coordinator in the sport of college football for a period of time there, Brent Venables. So Clemson operates as an SEC school when it comes to what they're willing to spend on their staff. And my hope for the Big 12 is that they don't lose out on too many guys bolting for the other Power 2 conferences, and they can keep up. That may mean private funding, donations, who knows what that looks like, but that's a fear that I have for the league as it tries to keep up with the Big 10 and the SEC. I think the Big 12 is going to be a fine number 3, but I do have concerns that once this new conference realignment starts, things like Garrett Riley going to Clemson after a great run of the national championship could become more and more likely as we look 5+ years down the road in the current college football landscape. And that's something I'm watching very, very closely as we move on and talk about what the future of the Big 12 Conference looks like. I'm Pete Mundo. We're HeartlandCollegeSports.com. Thanks for being here. Subscribe on YouTube. Share on Facebook. Thanks for being a part of the show. Hey, before we continue, just want to make sure I'm noting that it's NFL Wildcard Weekend, and we have got a great deal with our partners at DraftKings. Place a $5 bet as a new customer and get $200 in free bets with our promo code HCS for Heartland College Sports. That's $200 in free bets for new DraftKings customers with our promo code HCS. DraftKings, of course, the official sponsor, an official sponsor of the NFL. And just download that DraftKings Sportsbook app. I'm a Chiefs fan, so I got to get into these games this weekend. And, of course, DraftKings is going to help me do that. You also get a free no-sweat bet. Bet any game all weekend long of the wild card every single day, and you'll get $10 back on any losses on a single bet. So it's good stuff all around. You cannot lose with my friends at DraftKings with our code HCS for Heartland College Sports. Great way to support the site, support what we're doing. So thank you for supporting us, supporting this show. And we're growing the podcast network. We've got a new show, the Portal Podcast. Our guy Brian Clinton's doing that. He's covering transfer portal news, recruiting news, and name, image, likeness news. So go find that wherever you get your podcast. Just search the Portal Podcast. Elsewhere around the Big 12, wanted to mention this. Mike Boynton, the Oklahoma State head coach, he made a point that we should all be screaming about if you're a Big 12 basketball fan. And what is that point? The Big 12 is very much worthy of having all 10 teams make the NCAA tournament. You heard that right. All 10 teams. Mike Boynton told the Oklahoman, I think it's important that the conversation is started as early as possible because there's this notion that you can't have the whole league make it to the NCAA tournament. And until somebody shows me that there's a rule against it, then I think we need to stop saying that because people start believing what they hear in that regard. Now, of course, there's no rule against it. And the Big 12 is the best college basketball conference in America. So Mike Boynton is right. You look right now at the ESPN bracketology, and Joe Lunardi has 9 of the league's 10 teams in the field, and that includes Oklahoma State. In fact, you got the Cowboys and the Sooners. They were the last 2 teams in the field in Joe Lunardi's Tuesday projections, and the only team not in the field was Texas Tech. And yes, the Red Raiders are 0-4 in league play. They had a better non-conference record than the Cowboys entering Big 12 action. West Virginia's 0-4 in league play, and Lunardi's got them as a 9 seed. So Boynton is spot on when he also said this, there's no bottom of this league. If the 10 teams in our league are good enough to make it, they should make it. No one else has to go against the other 9 most difficult schedules in the country for the rest of the season. And he's right. He's absolutely right. There is no bottom of this league. This league is stacked. You thought it was stacked in football? It's even more stacked in basketball. That's how good the Big 12 Conference is this year. And, I know it's only middle of January, but you got to look at this thing if you're Mike Boynton and the Big 12 and the coaches and say, hey, let's start speaking up. There are 10 teams worthy of being in the NCAA tournament out of this conference. All 10 of them should and can absolutely make it. And we should be talking like that. So this is one of those things that it is smart for Mike Boynton to start having his voice be heard, especially if his team is potentially going to be on the bubble. You look at the NCAA net ratings, one of the primary tools the NCAA tournament committee uses for the 68-team field. And, right now, 9 of the league's 10 teams are in the top 50. Texas Tech, the only one that isn't, with a net ranking of 72. But man, oh man, you look at this thing right now, and the Big 12 is stacked. I am going to be at the KU Iowa State game on Saturday. So if you're a KU fan or an Iowa State fan and you're going to be in Lawrence for the game on Saturday, let me know. I got invited here last minute. I am fired up to be in Lawrence tomorrow for a top 15 matchup. Can't wait to take that game in. And be sure to find me or let me know, social media, DM me, whatever. It's going to be an outstanding, outstanding game. And I cannot wait to get that top 15 atmosphere between 2 4-0 teams in league play. It is just going to be electric in Lawrence tomorrow. Oh, gosh, that's going to be fantastic. So a couple thoughts, too, as we put a bow on the show. So we are, I guess, waiting to hear what the Big 12 schedule is going to look like on the football side. We haven't gotten it out yet. It hasn't come out yet. We're kind of waiting to see what it looks like. There's been some mixed reporting on when it comes out. People are asking me, I don't know, guys. I don't know what's going on. I think they're waiting to figure out if OU and Texas are going to be here in 2024 to finalize the schedule, but that should have no impact on 2023. 2023 should be done. The 2023 schedule should be, in the books. Put it out. unless they're saying, okay, if this is the last year of OU and Texas in the league, do we move some things around? Maybe, I guess, apparently so. But, I mean, we're getting to the second half of January here in the next couple days, and there's no 2023 schedule yet. And I know some of you are just waiting and gearing up to get that schedule so you can make sure that your calendars are marked and you tell everybody that you can't go to, weddings and stuff on certain weekends. I know some of you. I know you're ready for that. And my last thing I just want to share, and I'll do more of this over the offseason, but Texas Tech football, what Joey McGuire is doing. I know the 2023 classes are not officially set. Some of them are not officially set yet. We still got this signing day in, couple of weeks or so for 2023. Texas Tech is going to end up with a top 25 class. But on top of that, the 2024 class, Texas Tech is right now number 6 in the country, according to 247 Sports. 26 in the country. Think about that. The Texas Tech Red Raiders. I know it's early. I know it doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but it's really early. I understand all of that. I really do. But man, when you look at this league, this conference, and Texas Tech, that is a sleeping giant with Joey McGuire. They just got this 4-star running back for 2024. His name is Johan Cardenas. And they've got 2 4-star guys already for 2024. There's only a handful of teams that have got more than that. Georgia, Alabama, Notre Dame, LSU, A&M, Michigan. That's it. Who have more 4-star guys than Texas Tech for 2024. Think about that. Put that into perspective. When we talk about the Big 12, the future of this league and this conference, Texas Tech is making a great case to be one of those stalwarts to come out at the top of the league. I firmly believe that. I'm Pete Mundo, HeartlandCollegeSports.com. We'll do plenty more of that as we roll along here throughout the offseason. Appreciate you all being a part of the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget about our friends at DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use our code HCS to get $200 in free bets when you bet 5. Subscribe on YouTube. We appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.